Ann-Sophie and I'm the person behind Sewing with Solana, and today we're making the Josie top. And to make the Josie top, we're going to be working with jersey fabric. And because there's only one other tutorial of mine, like one other sewing pattern where we use jersey fabric, I thought it's a good opportunity today to teach you a bit more about jersey fabric and to show you how to really work with it. And because I know a lot of you don't have an overlock machine, so I've decided in this tutorial I'm going to make the top 2 times. One time using my overlock machine and one time using my normal sewing machine, to really show you that you can also make this tutorial and also make the scarf top with your normal sewing machine. And on Instagram I put up a question box to ask me some questions that you want me to answer when it comes to teach you more about working with jersey fabric. So I'm going to answer some of those questions first. Then we're going to put sewing pattern together, then we're going to cut out the fabric, and then I'm first going to make it with my overlock machine, and then I'm going to make it with my normal sewing machine. So let's go. Can I use my normal sewing machine? Yes, so I prefer using my overlock machine because it creates automatically a stretchy seam, and at the same time it finishes off the raw edges to give you like a cleaner finish. But you can 100% use your normal sewing machine, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make it with an overlock machine but also with a normal sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how you need to adjust your settings of the sewing machine. What needle should I use? So in my overlock machine I'm not going to change the needles. I'm going to be putting 2 needles in often when I just use it to overlock it. I only have 1 needle in and use 3 threads. But for just working with the overlock machine, when I work with jersey fabric, I put 2 needles in there and use 4 threads. And for your normal sewing machine, you need to change the needle and you need to put a jersey needle in there. So this is the one that I'm going to be using. Very important, you really need to change the needle and put a jersey needle in. What thread to use? So I would recommend you to use polyester thread for your normal sewing machine and also for your overlock machine, because cotton thread is more likely to rip more easily, and because the fabric is stretchy, so the thread also needs to stretch with it. You don't want to use a thread that's ripping very quickly, so I would recommend you to use 100% polyester. Another very good question is, which setting should you set your sewing machine to when working with jersey fabric? So because you really should not use just a straight stitch, because as the fabric is stretchy, your stitch also needs to be stretchy. So either your machine has a stretch stitch, which my machine does, and it's really good, but if your machine doesn't have it, then you can use a zigzag stitch, and you should set the width to around 1 to 1.5 and the length to 2.5 to 3. But I'm going to show you all of that once we start sewing. Do you need to change the tension? My main tip is always, every time when you start working with a new fabric on a new project, using a different thread, whatever you're doing, always take a piece of scrap fabric and do some test sewing, just to check if the tension is right, just to check if your sewing machine is set to the correct stitch option. But yeah, mainly I'm always testing this way the tension, and maybe when working with jersey fabric you might have to loosen the tension a little bit. But again, later on once we start sewing, I'm gonna do that little test with my jersey fabric, and then I let you know what I'm gonna change, if I want to change anything. But yeah, number 1 tip, always take a little scrap piece of fabric, do some test sewing and see if you need to adjust your tension. Do I need a special foot? So you can use a walking foot. I'm not going to use that. I've never used that when working with jersey fabric. In my opinion, you can just use your normal foot. And yeah, that's also what I'm going to do today, and it works perfectly. Do I need to pre-wash my fabric? Fabric will always shrink a little bit after washing it for the first time, so it's always recommended to wash it before working with it. And the same goes for jersey fabric. It's always a good idea to pre-wash your fabric, and then you can start working with it. But very often also, fabrics only, some fabrics like linen fabric for example shrinks quite a lot. Some fabrics only shrink 1 to 2%, it always depends a bit, but it's always recommended to pre-wash your fabrics. What are the main don'ts that you should keep in mind? So the most important thing in my opinion is, don't use a straight stitch, because when you put the top over your head, you're going to stretch the fabric, and if you stretch the fabric but your seam is not stretchy, the seam will just rip and then you have a hole in your fabric. So very important, set your sewing machine either to a zigzag stitch, to a stretch stitch, or work with an overlock machine, but never use just a normal straight stitch. And the other very important thing is, don't stretch your fabric while sewing. Always just let the fabric lie by itself and don't stretch it. I would recommend you to always just print the first page A1, and then you can measure one of those test boxes. because if this measures correctly, this one needs to be 5 centimeters times 5 centimeters, and then you know that the pattern is printed out correctly, and then you can go ahead and print all the remaining pages. As you can see, I printed it in color, but you can also print it in black and white. Okay, so here we have the front of the Josie top, and as you can see, you need to cut it out 2 times. So I always fold my fabric, place a sewing pattern on it, pin it in place, and then I cut it out. And this way, because the fabric was folded, I have the front 2 times, and the same for the back. I also have the back cut out 2 times. And as you can see, the front and the back pattern pieces, they're pretty similar, but the armhole is different, and also the neckline is different. But because they're pretty similar, I have a tip for you. So maybe you have your own sewing labels, and maybe if you don't have them yet, then maybe keep an eye open for the next few weeks. Maybe I have something new exciting coming. But yeah, I would recommend you now to figure out where you want the dropped shoulder to be, if you want it to be on the right or the left. So I'm just gonna pick up my 2 back pieces now, and so I'm gonna just put them behind because it's the back piece. I want the dropped shoulder to be on this side because I have a scar here on my arm and I don't like it, so I find this top actually is so perfect to cover up that scar. So I want my dropped shoulder to be on this side. You could also make this top by having the dropped shoulder on this side, but yeah, I'm gonna be making mine like this. And now this is the good side of the fabric, so this is the bad side, and when we sew the piece, because it's gonna be doubled line, the good side is facing out, but then also this good side from the second piece is facing your body, and the 2 bad sides are facing each other. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sew in my label, so just for later on I know which of the back pieces is going which direction. So this is gonna be the outside piece, which means this one is gonna be the lining basically. And because the good side of the lining is gonna face me, I'm gonna sew in my label right here. This step, what I'm doing now, obviously you don't have to do it. I'm just gonna do it so I can show you how I sew in my labels. The first thing we now need to do is we need to change the needle. So I'm just opening this up here. And then I take one of my jersey needles, put it in, and then I just thread my needle again. And now I'm just going to test my tension. So with my machine, I can do a stretch stitch, which is the blue one here, which then means usually if I want to do like a normal straight stitch, I have it set at around 2.5. But now we leave it here, but to get the stretch stitch, you need to set it to S1. And my tension right now is set to 3, so I'm just going to do some test sewing and see how the tension is. And as you can see, it is super stretchy still, the seam. I'm just gonna set it back to my normal straight stitch to show you the difference. Here the fabric is still stretchy obviously, but I can feel that my seam there's so much tension on it compared to this one. Like here, the seam is also stretching with the fabric. And here it's staying pretty stiff. If your sewing machine doesn't have a stretch stitch, you can also just set it to a zigzag stitch and then put the length to 2.5 and the width to around 1.5. And then you just have to take some scrap fabric, test the tension. Mine is right now set to 4. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'm gonna see what it is with 3, just to lower it a little bit, the tension. Yeah, I think the tension set to 3 is a bit better, but again, like each sewing machine is different. Depending how long you've had your sewing machine, maybe then the tension is a bit looser than if you have a brand new machine. But yeah, with a zigzag stitch, put it to 2.5 and around 1.5, and my tension right now would be set to a 3. So here we have our 2 back pieces now, both with the good side facing me. This is why they're mirrored now. And then we take our 2 front pieces, and you want to make sure that now the 2 good sides of one back piece and one front piece are facing each other. And now we will sew them together at the shoulder seam. So one time here and then one time here where the dropped shoulder is, across here. And we're going to sew with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. So we're going to sew across here, and then we repeat exactly the same with our other 2 pieces. So now we need to sew them together at the neckline. So I'm going to put this in front of me. Here we have the back, here we have the front. Here we have the normal shoulder, here's the dropped shoulder. Then we take the other one. You want to make sure really that the good side is facing you. Then we take the other front and back piece. And you want to make sure now that the 2 good sides are facing each other. And you want to line them up at the shoulder seam. So here, dropped shoulder, and this is also the dropped shoulder, as you can see. And you line up the shoulder seams. And I always first pin the shoulder seams together, and then I pin the whole neckline together. And then we just sew in one big circle. So here we have our neckline pinned together. You just want to make sure that you have the 2 back pieces facing each other and the 2 front pieces facing each other. And yeah, now we're just going to sew in one big circle. And now we gonna push it like one front piece and one back piece through the neck hole, just so now it's starting to look more like a top. So the neckline is finished now and the shoulder is finished now. The next step we need to do now is we need to do our armholes. So it doesn't matter with which one you start. Here we have the front, here we have the back, here we have the neckline. And now what we want to do, let me just cut this off. We're gonna roll this side of the top like a burrito. And then we pull the shoulder, at the shoulder part here, we're gonna pull them apart. Right now the two bad sides are facing each other. And now we want the two good sides facing each other. And it's in, like, the other shoulder, the dropped shoulder is now in between here. So I'm first gonna just pin this together so I don't have to hold on to it anymore. And here's where the armhole starts. I'm just going to pin this together. And then we can pin along the armhole. You just want to make sure that the top is really rolled in together so you don't accidentally now have it in between where you want to sew. And then what you want to do is you want to flip it, so you just have to pull on one side and then it has to go through here and come out on the other side again. So this is what it looks like. And now we have to do the same for the other side. This one where the dropped shoulder is a lot shorter. So the one that we have sewn, we're gonna roll it again. So this side here, we're gonna roll together now. And then we take where the dropped shoulder is, we're gonna pull it apart again. So now the two good sides are facing each other. You really have to make sure now that you don't accidentally sew in the other shoulder part. So we're gonna sew from here to here. Okay, so here is my top now. What we have to do next, what we have to sew next is we have to sew the side seams together. But first we need to create the twists, and to do that, so here's my top. I'm just gonna take the front and put it 4 times through the neck hole. You could also do 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, completely up to you. And here is what it looks like now. And now we have to sew the sides together. So let's go back to the table. But I have now put the front 4 times through the neck hole, and this way we have now the twisted shoulders. So here we have our 2 front pieces, back pieces, and first I'm gonna pull the 2 front pieces apart, and then also the 2 back pieces apart. And now we're gonna line them up right here, pin it in place, and then we're gonna pin all the way down this one side and then the other side. And then we're doing the same for the other side seam. We make sure that the seams here line up. And so here I can see is the back piece we have sewn in my label. So this is going to be the back and this is going to be the inside. And what I'm going to do is we need to leave a gap of around 5 centimeters. It doesn't matter if it's going to be on this side or on this side. It doesn't matter if it's here or a bit lower or a little bit higher. But on the inside of the back piece, you now need to leave a gap when you sew of around anything from 5 to 8 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing here, and then I finish here, leave a gap, and then continue sewing here, and then we start sewing again over here. Okay, so we are almost finished. There's only 2 steps left to do. First, we're gonna flip it again, so the top looks like a top again. And what we need to do now is we need to close the bottom. And to do that, we go back to the table again. Okay, so here we have the top. And what we need to do, we need to, it doesn't matter if you start from this side seam here or from the other one, let's just start here. And right now, the two bad sides are facing each other. And now we're going to pull them apart, and then we put them with the two good sides facing each other. So pull them apart, flip it, and now we line them up again, the seam, and pin it in place. And then you can also pin the other side together. Again, make sure that the two good sides are facing each other. We can't pin all the way around because we need to move the fabric around a bit while sewing, but you can already pin one, like half of it together. And then once we have sewn this close, then we need to find the little gap that we left earlier and flip it the right side out again. So we're just gonna have to pull then the whole top through that little hole till we have the good side outside again. So now I'm just going to start sewing here a few centimeters before the side seam, and then we go in one whole circle until we reach the point where we have started again. So here is where I left the gap earlier, so I'm just going to stick my fingers in here and pull the top out. And now the only thing left to do is now to close the gap. So you just want to fold the seam allowance inside, and I'm just going to stick a needle in here where we started sewing and on the other side too, like where the gap starts. And now I'm going to sew from here like a few centimeters before till over here, just so the gap is closed. Okay, we are finished with the top now. I'm gonna be honest with you, filming this tutorial was a bit of a nightmare. It is summer now in Australia. Officially I think it's still spring, but it feels like summer. And my sewing studio, there's like a downstairs and it's really cool, but upstairs it's so hot in here and my camera kept overheating. So often I had to take a break, take the camera downstairs. I have air conditioning here, but it's just not getting cooler up here. Like it's freezing cold downstairs, but it's just not getting colder up here. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna have to move my sewing area downstairs. It's so hot up here now. But anyways, I'm finished now. We managed, the camera is still alive, and I love this top. I'm gonna show it to you, I think actually tomorrow, because I forgot to bring a pair of jeans because I think that's the nicest way to style it. I just have some white linen shorts that also look kind of cool, so I'm gonna show it to you, but you'll also see some other photos and videos. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You will also see the tutorial making it with the overlock machine. You do it exactly the same, only that you do it with an overlock machine and it's a bit quicker, because I feel like sewing it with your normal sewing machine, it took quite some time, at least with the stretch stitch. But yeah, I'm so happy how it turned out. Like, you seriously don't know the difference from the top now, looking at this one and looking at the white one with the overlock machine. They look completely the same. So yeah, I hope this tutorial showed you that you don't need an overlock machine to make beautiful pieces of clothing. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to help you out. And I see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Send me photos of yours. This top is so cool. It's like the perfect basic top with a twist, quite literally. Goodbye. I actually like this top so much with linen pants. I didn't expect it, but I feel like love it. I love a double-lined tank top because I have so many white tank tops. I love wearing tank tops, but they're all see-through. So that this is double-lined now and 100% not see-through is a win. So now you need to cut out the back 2 times and the front 2 times, and my tip for you is just fold your fabric in half, pin it onto the fabric and cut it out, and then this way, because the fabric is folded, you have the back twice and you have the front twice. So here's my overlocker. I have 2 needles in, 4 threads. I only have 3 in cream white, so I just put a normal white one in there, which is totally fine. And here's what my tension is now. And I already tested it and it works perfectly. The thing is, maybe you have exactly the same machine as I do, maybe you have the same needles in there, have exactly the same fabric, but it can still be that your tension is maybe a little bit different. Sometimes when you've had your machine for a long time, the tension might be a bit looser, so you have to put it maybe to a little bit of a higher number, or maybe it also can have to do with the exact sewing thread that you use. But yeah, like, just because this is my setting for the tension now, means that yours can be a little bit different. But yeah, here's what it looks like, and I always then check, flip it the right way, stretch the fabric, and it's looking good. So we can start sewing now. Here I have one back piece with the right side facing me, and then I take a front piece, and you want to make sure that the 2 right sides are facing each other. And now I'm gonna first sew this together, and then we're also gonna sew this together, and then we're gonna repeat exactly the same for our other front piece and back piece. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one piece here where we have sewn the back and the front together, and we want to have the good side facing us, so the seam is facing the table. And here where the safety pin is the back. And now we take the other 2 pieces that we have sewn together and we do exactly the same. So we want the 2 good sides facing each other, and this time you just need to make sure that the 2 back pieces are facing each other, which is why I've put safety pins in there so I really know where they are. And then the 2 front pieces are facing each other. And now what we want to do is we want to sew them together at the neckline. So the first thing I do is I pin the shoulder seams together. On this side and then also on the other side. And then we can pin the whole neckline together. And we're just gonna sew in a circle around here. I would recommend you to start at the back, and then once you get to where we started, you're gonna sew a few centimeters over it, and then we're gonna sew out of it. I'm gonna show you now how we do that. Now I'm just taking my big needle here to hide the end of the thread. So now we can flip it with the right side facing. So we do it like this. So here's what it looks like now. Here we have our neckline. I'm just gonna get rid of all this a bit. And now what we want to do is we want to close our armholes. And the way we're doing this, it doesn't matter on which side you start. We're gonna start with this smaller one here. And what you want to do is you're gonna roll this side together, and then you're gonna flip this around here. So you're gonna sandwich it in between. You're gonna line up the shoulder seam. So now the two good sides are facing each other, and we're gonna start sewing down here where the armhole starts, and we're gonna finish on the other side. So it's basically like a burrito now. So we're gonna sew from here across here, and just be careful that when you sew here, because there's like fabric sandwich in between here, that you don't accidentally sew the fabric in, like the little ripped up burrito in there, and that you only sew the two layers of fabric together. So here's what it looks like now, and now we just have to flip it. So we need to pull this out here. So now here's one armhole finished, and now we need to do the same on the other side. So next up we want to sew this armhole close. So now we roll this together, and then we wrap this around. First we line up, the two good sides are facing each other again, line up the shoulder seam. And now we're going to sew from here till here. Now we need to flip it again, so it's again facing us with the right side. So here we have the top in front of us now, and what we need to do now, before we sew it together at the seams, we need to twist the straps. And we do that by so I'm first going to lay it apart. So here's the back, here's the front, and now I'm just going to put the front through the neck hole 4 times. It's up to you. You could also do it more or you could also do it less. But I want to twist it 4 times. So now it looks like this, and what we need to do, I'm gonna lay it apart like this again. And now we pull one side apart, and here's the seam of the armhole. And then we do the same with the back piece. And first you line up the seam here, pin it in place. And now there's one important step now. So we're gonna start sewing here. So this is the front of the top. We're gonna start sewing at the front. So across here, and here is the back. And you need to leave a gap of around 5 centimeters around the middle of the back piece. Can be here, can be a little bit lower. Doesn't really matter too much, but it's important that you leave a gap. So we're gonna start sewing here, across here, then I'm gonna stop here, leave a gap, and finish until the end. And then we're also going to sew the other side together, but then you don't need to leave a gap. So you only need to leave a gap once, but it's just important that you leave the gap where the back pieces are. And now we're going to flip it again, so it's the right side facing us. And to close the bottom here, you're just going to start at one of the side seams. So either here or on the other side, it doesn't really matter. But what you want to do is, you're going to, right now the bed sides are facing each other, so you're going to pull them apart until they meet again, but this time with a good side facing each other. So you just pull it apart, flip it, somehow just so now the side seams with the good side facing each other are lined up, and then you can pin it together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start sewing a few centimeters before the seam here. And then we're going to just sew in a full circle until we reach the point again where we have started. And you need to move the fabric around a little bit while sewing. You won't be able to pin it all together now, like you could, but it's because you need to pull the fabric while sewing, then maybe some needles are going to get stuck and it's just going to be a bit chaotic. So I would recommend you now, you can pin the first few centimeters together, and then we're just going to go to our overlocker again, and we're just going to sew step by step until we reach the point again where we have started. But So we start at one side seam and then the other side seam also needs to line up perfectly. So we can pin this together as well. So let's go sew. And now you need to find the little hole that we have left. Mine is here. I should have left it a little bit bigger, but that's okay. What you need to do now is you need to flip it. So the whole top needs to come through that little hole. Just be gentle. Don't pull too quick, too hard, too fast. And now the very last step is find your gap again. And now we're just gonna fold it like this. So make sure that the seam allowance is folded inwards. And now we just need to close the gap. So I'm just gonna stick a needle here where it ends the gap. And then here where it starts, just so I know what I really need to sew closed. And I would recommend you to start a few centimeters before it and a few centimeters after. So I'm going to set my machine to a stretch stitch. So I have it on here and then I need to put it on S1.